A murderer, a rapist, and a small-town police chief just escaped a medium security prison. And I know what you're asking yourself. Is this the Fugitive type situation?
Come on!
Absolutely not. This guy's a piece of shit. Let's go ahead and break down the story and dig into it.
Good evening. It is great to be back with all of you at home after the Memorial Day holiday. We do begin tonight with this urgent search for a former police chief, a convicted murderer known as the Devil of the Ozarks, who escaped from a high-security prison in a makeshift uniform.
Happening right now, a massive manhunt is underway for an inmate known as the Devil in the Ozarks.
Yikes, a former police chief turned convicted killer escaped from prison yesterday. Hannah Flood is in the Live Center tracking this search. Good morning.
All right, guys, so today we're actually going to be discussing something that's going down right now. If you've ever seen The Devil in the Ozarks, which is an HBO special, then you might know about this guy. If you haven't, then you may not. But this guy just walked out of prison. Plain and simple, walked straight out. And like I said, at first I was like, The Fugitive? Harrison Ford? Kimball? No. This guy. But let's go ahead and break into what we know. So on May 25th of this year, 2025, a man known as the Devil in the Ozarks vanished from a medium security prison in Arkansas. This guy used nothing but a disguise, a moment of carelessness, and what some may be calling inside help. His name is Grant Hardin, and his escape has sparked one of the most intense manhunts that this state has seen in decades. So who is he, how did he pull this off, and why are authorities terrified of what's going to be coming next? Grant Hardin wasn't just a criminal, he was the law. He served as a police chief in Gateway, Arkansas, a quiet mountain town with a population of barely 400. People trusted him, respected him, but underneath that badge was a man with a violent, disturbing past. In 2017, Hardin shot and killed his friend, a church member, James Appleton, execution style. His motive? Unclear. Some say it was personal, others say it was pure paranoia. Even more shocking, he already had a 1997 grape conviction, one that somehow didn't keep him out of law enforcement. Combined, Hardin was handed an 80-year sentence, one for murder and the other for grape. And that's where he was supposed to stay, behind bars at North Central Unit, a medium security prison located in Calico, Arkansas. On Sunday morning, May 25th, Hardin disappeared. Surveillance videos revealed that he was wearing a makeshift corrections officer's uniform, not an official one, but close enough to fool someone under pressure. He approached a secured area, carrying himself like a staff. A guard, likely under stress, distracted, or simply deceived, just opened the gate. And just like that, Hardin walked out of prison. Some reports say that he had a radio clipped to his belt. Others mention that his uniform may have been constructed from altered prison clothing. Either way, it worked. Now here's where it gets deeper. Authorities believe this wasn't spontaneous. This was planned, possibly weeks or even months in advance. Did someone help him on the inside? Did he make the uniform himself? And where did he go the moment that he stepped beyond those gates? So far, nobody knows. As soon as the escape was confirmed, a statewide manhunt was launched. Drones, helicopters, bloodhounds, roadblocks. Authorities are combing through miles of rugged Ozark terrain, a vast remote landscape filled with forests, caves, and abandoned hunting cabins. But the weather's making things worse. Heavy spring rains have flooded trails, slowed aerial searches, and washed away potential tracks. Residents have been told to stay inside, secure their homes, and call the police immediately if they see anything or anyone suspicious. And why is this escape such a big deal? Because Grant Hardin is not your average convict. He's a trained law enforcement officer. He knows how the system works, and more importantly, he knows how to exploit it. Even behind bars, he was calculating, completing courses in anger management, food safety, and behavioral control. But officials now wonder, was that part of a long con? Add to this his violent past, his tactical knowledge, and his deep understanding of local terrain, and you've got a man who could disappear for weeks. or strike again.
We were able to get video of helicopters hovering in the area of the prison and some officers using binoculars to look in the area. Is some of the search concentrated still around the prison?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the attitude that we take until we have credible evidence that he is not in the area, we assume that he's probably still in the area. Sorry.
Layers of security that Hardin had to breach to get out of the prison, was it one lapse or multiple failures?
That's part of what we're looking into as well. We have a pretty good idea of the route that he took and kind of some of those circumstances. But part of that investigation is looking into exactly what happened during that time frame and what, if any, lapses happened.
What you just said about the search area expanding, what does that actually mean?
Just obviously, as time goes on and somebody's on foot, they can cover a lot more ground. And so just making sure, looking at possible, roads, possible, following streams, following whatever maneuvers people would take, just trying to guess and ascertain how far somebody could travel in a certain amount of time, and just making sure that we're covering that amount of distance and that he's not slipping by.
How are we sure that the uniform he was wearing was homemade if you guys don't have it in your possession?
Just again, because there's nothing inside the facility that looks like that. It had to have been either homemade or brought in somehow, or again, once we know exactly what it is that he was wearing, that will help us ascertain that as well.
Without giving away the secrets, can you talk more about how you've had to switch up the way you search for him, because he knows the tricks of the trade?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a lot of the details about how we've been doing that. All I know is we have some very experienced people that's, there's constant briefings throughout the day talking about, what's working, what's not working, where should we check. All I can speak, there have been a lot of different varieties and a lot of different resources used to try and help with this search.
Are you in touch with the family members of the victims? Are you providing extra security for them?
I can't speak to that. I know they've been notified. I know law enforcement in that area has been notified. And so I haven't been out there, so I don't really know exactly what they're doing, but they have been notified.
In the federal agencies, you said they're cooperating with state and local. Does that include the FBI?
Yes, sir.
And there's still more questions that need to be answered, like how did Hardin get a hold or create this uniform? Why wasn't he being monitored more closely? And did somebody on the inside, knowingly or unknowingly, help this guy escape? As the Arkansas Department of Corrections launches an internal review, some are already calling for a full investigation into corruption or negligence. But time is running out, and every hour that Hardin is free, the risk to the public grows. As of now, Grant Hardin is still at large. The man known as the Devil in the Ozarks is out there, possibly hiding in the woods, hitchhiking, or worse, planning something else. If you see anything, say something. And if you're in the area, be vigilant. And until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and keep asking questions.